if you guys like the Dragon Ball content that I provide on this channel, then make sure you guys punch that subscribe button with notifications enabled to be the first to receive all the latest in Dragon Ball content and be a part of the Dragon Ball squad. And also don't forget to follow me on these social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, to stay connected with me at all times. Hashtag Dragon Ball Squad. Thank you so very much for your support. Now let's begin. The final 4 minutes of the Tournament of Power remain as Goku, Vegeta, and Android 17 collide against Universe 11's strongest warrior, Jiren, as Jiren is looking to reveal his true power against our heroes in battle to determine which universe is going to be the last universe to survive and endure the erasure, as the other is going to be completely wiped out from existence. As right now we're going to be diving into the Dragon Ball Super episode 127 preview to further analyze, dissect, and break down the following events for the upcoming episode to make a determination as to what may play off between Jiren, Goku, Vegeta, and Android 17, as we kick things off with the first image having to be shown on screen with Jiren in pursuit of the Universe 7 fighters, and you can only prognosticate in what he's going to do, and it's very obvious that going into Dragon Ball Super episode 127, it looks like Jiren is mostly going to be on the offensive instead of more or less playing the defensive side and trying to defend himself, because here it looks like he's not going to waste any more time given the fact that there's only 4 minutes left, and Jiren doesn't look like he's about to waste any more time in coming after Goku, Vegeta, and Android 17, as we transition into the next shot here, and our boy Android 17 is in for a treat. Now the reason for that is because according to the spoilers and according to what we're looking at, Android 17 is putting up these barriers, or at least to our knowledge looking like he's about to engage Jiren directly with an attack, and although 17 is supremely inferior as compared to Jiren in terms of strength, at least he's going to try, as we transition into the next shot here, as the narration goes on to state, with his true power revealed, Jiren is unbelievably strong, and Jiren looks like he's obviously going to be in pursuit of somebody, and that somebody happens to be Android 17. And what's scary about this is finally all of our questions are going to be answered as to how powerful Jiren truly is. And although the narration alludes that Jiren will be using his full power, I'm still gonna make the guess in saying that Jiren's gonna hold back until we get to see the return of Ultra Instinct. Only then do I think that we are gonna get to see Ultra Instinct Goku battle against a full power Jiren, but only until Ultra Instinct returns. But here, it doesn't look like things are gonna be going well for Android 17 as we transition into the next shot here, and Jiren seems to break through the defenses or the attack that 17 had put up, because in the next shot having to be shown here, Jiren manages to break through 17's attacks and grabbing him by the face and tossing him all throughout the stage. So I'm going to make the assumption now that Android 17 is going to be eliminated. Now 17 has served his purpose, it's literally 1-on-4, and I think to further establish Jiren's dominance, he's going to have to toss somebody out. So I think that the next victim is going to be Android 17. He's been the MVP, or at least one of them, for Universe 7, so hats off to 17, but it doesn't look like 17's gonna have a very easy time in battling such an opponent as we transition into the next shot here, and unlike how we've seen before, it looks like Jiren has a tear in his suit. And the reason for that is because it looks like somebody attacked him from behind. Now it could be Goku, it could be Vegeta. I'm only going to make the guess in saying that it's possibly going to be Vegeta, but his suit is ripped and you get to see more or less of Jiren's back muscles, which again, we have to take into account as to what this means for Jiren, if he's going to have the same reaction as Toppo in regards to how he feels about the suit. But nevertheless, we get to see finally somebody actually had tore Jiren's suit, and Jiren's suit was so durable throughout all of this because Jiren had endured some pretty heavy attacks from Goku, from Vegeta, and despite everything happening, finally we get to see tears in his suit. So this is very interesting. We see marks on his back, so I'm only going to make the guess in saying that it's going to be Vegeta that's going to be the one to do this as we transition into the next shot here as Super Saiyan Blue, assumingly Kaioken times 20 Goku, pursues Jiren. So not really much to talk about here other than the idea that Goku once again goes back into Kaioken so casually in fighting Jiren as we transition into the next shot here. As the narration states, he easily smashes me and Vegeta's all-out attacks. So no matter what Vegeta does, no matter what Goku does, nobody seems to penetrate the defenses and overcome the power that Jiren presents. Now, obviously, Goku's on the attack. we know thus far that Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku is no match for Jiren, even by himself, so he does need assistance, but it doesn't look like Goku or Vegeta are going to be doing anything to even put a dent in this man as we transition into the next shot here, and this is a very scary image. Now, behind Jiren, it looks like there's like this wall of fire, obviously his aura, but he doesn't look like he's playing any games, and I cannot wait to see the depth and magnitude as to what this character can do in Super, because ever since the inception of the Universe Survival Arc and the beginning of the Tournament of Power battle, we've been getting hints, we've been having lots of foreshadowing behind this dude, and now it's time to see what he can do. And I do believe that with this overwhelming aura, this fiery energy behind him, he's gonna bring the heat, no pun intended, as we transition into the next shot here. And once again, we get to see this mesmerizing reddish, yellowish aura behind him. I'm only assuming, once again, it's not going to be his full power necessarily yet, until of course we get to see the rebirth of Ultra Instinct Goku. But nonetheless, you guys can expect Jiren to really go balls in on both Android 17, Goku, and Vegeta as we transition into the next shot here. And this is actually one of my favorite shots. So we have Super Saiyan Blue Goku and we have Ultra Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and they're on the offensive. So of course, I cannot wait to see what shirtless Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta can do. Obviously, he's diminished in power as according to Beerus, but I still do believe that Vegeta has lots of hope in this fight because we are going to be more or less discussing this entire battle throughout the entire week. So for this, what I find most interesting is despite what Jiren's doing, as you guys can see in the background, it looks like both Goku and Vegeta are going to break past whatever Jiren's going to be unleashing on Goku and Vegeta for them to get at least a few shots in before Jiren begins to really turn up. So as we transition into the next shot here, Jiren looks like he's about to unleash another attack. Now, we don't really know how strong this is going to be, but nonetheless, as Jiren is getting ready to fire off an attack of his own, so is everybody else. As we transition into the next shot here, and we see Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta once again about to unleash the final flash, as the narration goes on to state, just then number 17 stands up. Now keep in mind, this is going to be more or less a Android 17 episode because it's going to be down to 17 more so than anybody else. It's going to come down to him morely, and as I said before, I do believe that this is going to be Android 17's time to go, as the narration states, number 17's heated battle for the Universe 7 survival is going to begin. So again, they're going to feature 17. He's going to do something to counter Jiren, or at least protect Goku and Vegeta, as we transition into the next shot here, and Jiren more or less looks like he's going to be pushing back a bit more as to Vegeta unleashing the final flash, Goku unleashing the Kamehameha, 17 firing off Ki Blast, and I don't think that despite all three of them are any of their attacks going to work, and that's what makes this so much interesting because this predates and goes back to the original fight with Ani Laza, as we saw everybody try against him and nothing really worked. But this is not Ani Laza we're talking about here, this is Jiren. So as we transition into the next shot here, and it looks like whatever it is that Jiren unleashes works, because it gets the best of Vegeta, and Vegeta looks like, I'm not entirely sure as to what's going to happen to him, but this looks pretty bad. I mean, in both shots, we get to see how Vegeta is completely getting engulfed in this massive, white light. So only then I can only assume that Jiren is going to repel and push back the final flash, the Kamehameha, as it not only does happen to Vegeta, but it also happens to Goku in this next shot here. Goku also looks like he's being overtaken by, whatever it is that Jiren does, and I do feel like this is so scary because our heroes don't seem like they have any sort of chance in getting past him. At least now people are going to speculate and saying, well, I mean, what more can they do? Is it possible for them to perform the fusion dance? Is it possible for Beerus to toss down those earrings? Hey man, as cool as that would be, I don't think it's going to happen because we still need to see Ultra Instinct. So I do think that despite everyone's attack, it's going to fail. Jiren's a beast as we transition into the next shot here, as it says next time on Dragon Ball Super. And this is most interesting because as you guys can see, Jiren, he is covered in layers of aura. And the episode title goes on to state in the following image here, the approaching wall, the final barrier of hope. And if you look in the background, look very closely at Jiren. Jiren has not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different auras that are surrounding him. He has the fiery aura engulfing his body. He has the aura outside of his body, the original aura. Then we have an aura stacked on top of that, followed by a purple aura behind the red flames. So this is scary. How strong is this? Is Jiren God? I mean, you know what I'm saying? So this is so scary because now Jiren, more so than any other character, is gonna display raw power, the likes of which nobody has ever seen before, as we transition into the next shot here, and I want you guys to pay very close attention. So at first, we get to see base form Goku and base form Vegeta. They look like they got the shit beat out of them, but if you look very closely in the middle, Android 17 is rushing. He's rushing towards this massive attack, and as we transition into the next shot here, as I just said, 17 puts the barrier up. So to me, I do think that if it were up to Jiren, this fight would be over because Goku's down, Vegeta's down, and 17 is using what? The final barrier to protect them. So as an end result, as you guys can see in the next shot here, Android 17, it looks like he's struggling, obviously, because he is inferior when it comes down to raw power to Jiren. And as we transition into the next shot having to be shown here, 17 completely vanishes. So I don't think he's going to die, but I think that, you know, judging based on what we just saw with Goku and Vegeta having to be laid out on the floor, I think that more or less what's happening here is Jiren found the opportunity to ring out everybody, and instead 17 makes the save. So post your comments down below, guys. What are your overall thoughts on 17 making the save? I personally love it because now 17 is not playing any games. He's jumping in there to defend his friends, you know, as he should, because, I mean, Goku and Vegeta can't defend themselves, and Frieza is nowhere to be seen. We don't know where the hell Frieza is. We don't know what's happening after the final explosion. He's just gone. He's still in the ring, but he's gone. So in the end, I want to get your thoughts on Android 17. I want to see as to more or less where you guys stand with 17's, you know, position, if you guys believe that it's suitable for him to go. What are your overall thoughts on Jiren as to him unleashing his full power? Post your comments down below, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are hyped and ready for the upcoming Dragon Ball Super episodes, leave a like down below. Also, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to tune back in for more. Thank you all so much once again. Follow me on Snapchat, on Twitter, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Cue my outro, bitch.